#1 news source.
Even with a snowblower, that's probably going to take a while. Residents across the Northeast are dealing with a massive dump of snow, more than 3 feet in some parts of New York. Nearly 6 million doses of the Moderna vaccine ready to ship as soon as the FDA gives the green light, when that's expected to happen. And new questions about the Pfizer vaccine after another allergic reaction. This as the U.S. reports its deadliest day yet of the pandemic. More than 3,600 lives lost in 24 hours. We'll take you inside a hospital overflowing with patients.
I noticed that you wear combat boots.
Yes.
Why?
This is combat. This is combat.
America in need, with millions at risk of losing benefits at the end of the month. We ask, what's in Congress's new potential $900 billion COVID relief bill?
We've got to give unemployment benefits and help the businesses immediately. This is not a long-term response.
Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin joins us tonight. Serious new warnings about that massive cyber attack involving government and private networks. The country's top cybersecurity agency warns that the risk is grave, and ABC News is learning a foreign government is behind the attack. Newly released police body camera images show a group of officers forcing their way into the wrong home, handcuffing an innocent woman who was naked inside her apartment. Accusations that officials tried to hide the video. Dividing lines. We take you into a community split in two, like many in the pandemic, where anger is brewing over a perceived loophole allowing people to fly across the border but not drive.
People that live 5 minutes apart now have to take 4 airplanes, spend $1,000, and take 10 hours to see their loved ones, and that just seems ridiculous.
And our Ginger Z reminds us why all the snow many of us have been left with isn't such a bad thing for everyone right now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Based on the number of COVID deaths each day, 3,584 just today and even more yesterday, perhaps this latest realization should come as no surprise. COVID-19 may now be the most likely cause of death in the U.S., claiming more lives than heart disease and cancer. Fortunately, more help is on the way. A second vaccine has now been recommended for emergency use by an FDA panel of advisors, the Moderna vaccine, which has an effective rate of more than 94%. And with nearly 6 million doses ready to go, Americans could expect to see the first doses administered by next week, once the vaccine has cleared final FDA authorization. Our Tom Yamas leads us off.
Tonight, the vote is in. Moderna now on its way to be the second vaccine to help America beat the coronavirus. An FDA advisory panel voting 20-0 to recommend emergency use authorization.
It looks like we have a favorable vote.
The study showing the Moderna vaccine is 94% effective in preventing symptomatic disease. And early evidence also suggests the vaccine reduced asymptomatic infection in volunteers and could stop the spread of the virus.
Moderna certainly will be available soon, have the same level of efficacy, the same safety profile, and virtually everything the same about them. So it wouldn't make much difference which of those you take.
And tonight, a new development with the Pfizer vaccine and allergic reactions. The FDA now investigating after 2 people in Alaska had rare allergic reactions to Pfizer's vaccine. One woman had to be treated and hospitalized. As for more common side effects like the Pfizer vaccine, Moderna volunteers experienced minor symptoms like fever, headache, and fatigue.
My arm was sore the next day both times, but besides that, I personally didn't have any other noticeable side effects.
The world watched when Jennifer Haller became the first trial volunteer in the U.S. 9 months ago, injected with the Moderna vaccine.
I wasn't afraid because I trust science.
Nearly 6 million doses of the Moderna vaccine are ready to ship immediately and don't require special freezers like Pfizer's, making it easier to reach rural areas. The push to vaccinate is a race against time for so many healthcare workers. No one knows better than Nurse James Oxford in Nebraska, who learned just hours before his vaccination that he lost his brother Joe to the virus.
I had the nurse that administered the shot right on the Band-Aid for Joe, and it was on
12/15, the day that he died. So it was a kind of special time for me.
Tom Yamas joins us now. Tom, what's the latest on Operation Warp Speed?
Lindsay, with Moderna now on track, Operation Warp Speed says they plan on shipping out 8 million doses next week, 6 million doses of Moderna and 2 more million doses of the Pfizer vaccine. They say they will hit their goal of 20 million doses by the end of the year. And Lindsay, tonight, the reality is there is even more vaccine out there than originally estimated. Hospitals across the country have found bonus doses in vials. They were told only 5 doses exist in those vials, but healthcare providers are saying they're finding additional doses. The FDA says if you have that extra vaccine, use it.
That's good news. Tom Yamas, our thanks to you. Focusing now on the record number of cases and hospitalizations, which most certainly will mean a surge in deaths in the coming weeks. The CDC's latest projection, the death toll could rise to 391,000 by January 9th. Our Matt Gutman reports on the hospitals so desperately fighting to save those lives.
Tonight, the predictions of a dark winter, now a grim reality. In the last 24 hours, the pandemic's deadliest day, more than 3,600 fatalities. Among the multitude was Jennifer Mendoza, a mother of 4 from Grapevine, Texas, who died on her 34th birthday.
The kindest person ever.
Admitted to the hospital 2 months ago, just after giving birth to her baby, she never got to see her family again.
Her kids were everything to her. Until her last moment, she still kept fighting for them.
The CDC now predicting as many as 82,000 more deaths in the next 3 weeks. And California is now the nation's epicenter, nearly 150,000 cases just the past 3 days. Doctors at this hospital in Apple Valley say they're in a war zone.
I noticed that you wear combat boots.
Yes.
Why?
This is combat. This is combat.
And throughout Southern California, there are now 0 ICU beds available, forcing agonizing decisions.
You have to pick which one of your patients has the best chances of making it. And that's one you're going to have to give most of your care to.
On stretcher after stretcher, patients lining the ER hallways, some dying while waiting for a hospital bed.
This morning, we had 3 cold blues at the same time. You know, one of our doctors went up and ran those codes.
Meaning people were having a cardiac arrest?
Cardiac arrest. No pulse.
ER bed 12, code blue, ER bed 12.
And that's the never.
And that's another one right now.
That's the never-ending story.
Just such awful scenes. Matt Gutman joins us now. And Matt, as bad as it is right now, officials in Southern California, they only expect it to get worse there.
It's incredible, but it might. In fact, it's expected to. And a big reason for that is the number of people testing positive and the percentage of people testing positive is increasing. We call that the positivity rate. And when that goes up, it means that the general number is likely to climb as well. So, you know, we're seeing 53,000 cases per day in California. It's very possible we could see 60,000 by next week. Area hospitals here are also predicting that they're going to be completely overwhelmed. They're at capacity right now. There is 0% ICU beds left in Southern California, and they expect the number of patients in the next 3 weeks or so to double or even triple, Lindsay.
And so, as you just said, again, there are 0 ICU beds available. Obviously, some difficult decisions then need to be made. What's that process been like for the medical staff that you've been talking to?
Essentially what it means is that they can't turn anyone away. So they accept as many patients as come to their doors. But what they can't do is provide the best medical care possible, right? So the number of ICU nurses to patients increases. There are fewer nurses to more, or doctors to more patients. That means, you know, unfortunately, according to the top doctor in LA County, that more people are going to die than otherwise would have happened if they would have had optimal care. And that's essentially what happens. The type of care ends up being degraded, and unfortunately, more people will lose their lives to this virus.
Right.
Lindsay.
Just also overwhelming. Matt Gutman, our thanks to you.
Yeah.
And now to Washington, where Congress is still negotiating the details of a COVID relief bill. The sides say that they're close, but when will a deal actually get done? And when will Americans get some much-needed help as the pandemic drags on? Let's bring in our senior congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce. Mary, so where do things stand tonight on actually getting a deal done?
Well, I'm sorry to report that tonight there is still no deal. Here's where things stand. The bill on the table, we know, would provide $300 weekly federal unemployment benefits and likely $600 direct payments to most Americans. But right now, tonight, both sides are still haggling over the details, including the amount of those direct checks to Americans and a pot of disaster aid that Republicans fear governors may redirect in other ways. So they're really now in the nitty-gritty, arguing over the language of the bill. And there's a lot of frustration growing here in Washington that still, even after so many months, they haven't been able to get this across the finish line. But there is also continued optimism that this time is different, that they are eventually going to get this done. Leaders, of course, have vowed that they are not going home for the holiday until they do. They are staying put here in Washington. They are likely to work through the weekend, but they are confident that by the holidays, they will have something to show for all of this.
All right, closer still. And we also saw some stark new numbers today on how dire the economic situation is right now amid the pandemic.
Lindsay, the economic pain facing millions of Americans is only growing worse. These numbers are just staggering. Just last week, 885,000 Americans filed for unemployment. That's on top of the 20 million Americans already collecting some form of unemployment benefit. That far outpaces what we saw during the Great Depression. It just goes to underscore the real suffering out there and the absolute dire need for Washington to finally get its act together and provide some real relief.
All right, Mary Bruce, our thanks to you.
Thank you.
For the latest on negotiations in Congress, let's bring in Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, a top member of the Democratic leadership. Thanks so much for joining us during this especially busy time. So it seems like both sides are saying that you're close to a deal, but of course the devil is in the details. So let's break down some of the key sticking points and what those are right now. First, where do things stand on those stimulus checks going out to American families? We've certainly seen some members from both sides of the aisle calling for larger checks than $600 per person. So what exactly is on the table?
$600 was the latest figure that I've heard. Now, the negotiations aren't complete, so I don't want to suggest that I know the final word. It's still being negotiated, but there is a basic agreement that there'll be a cash payment given to many American families.
What seems to be the major sticking point at this particular time?
Well, there are a lot of needs in our country at this moment, as you can imagine, first on the coronavirus front, but secondly on the economic front. To think that close to some 900,000 people applied for unemployment last week is an indication of how serious the economy is troubled. And we want to make sure that we provide the assistance we can for them. This is the bill we proposed that was brought to the negotiating table. Won 4 Democratic senators and 4 Republican senators. I was one of them. Really basically said this is a stopgap measure. This is an emergency nature. We've got to give unemployment benefits and help the businesses immediately. This is not a long-term response.
And do you think that we could see a boost of additional money going to those with dependent children? And can you do that without the price tag getting too high for Republicans to sign on? What do you think is the best way to thread that needle?
Well, I think the amount of money that we're going to give in the checks and the families that would qualify them, we're trying to fit that into the $900 billion, roughly $900 billion bill. I understand we're making some progress on that. We're close to it. But those families are in desperate need. Many of them have been troubled and rely on food banks and struggle to keep their families together. Above all, in this holiday season, we ought to be helping them all we can.
And speaking of the holiday season, how soon do you think that Americans could see those checks after a bill passes? Because of the holidays, do you think that they may likely not come until January?
Well, I don't know that. And I can tell you, I learned a long time ago that when you predict something that close to home and that personal, be careful. Right. I don't know what the timetable would be for delivering the checks.
As you've stated, and people know firsthand, so much need right now on so many fronts. So are there any spending priorities that either side is either insisting on or objecting to right now that you would say is a deal breaker for Democrats to getting a deal? Or is this a matter of getting to agreement on some of the dollar amounts?
Listen, we come so far since Tuesday when this bipartisan group of senators and House members, for that matter, announced the basic of this agreement. I am hopeful. I think that leaders have really shown some initiative, and along with the White House, to sit down and get this done in the next 24 or 48 hours. I hope that it's done quickly.
And I know that you're leery about giving a time frame, but any sense if this could drag into next week before Christmas, or do you think that it'll be wrapped up soon? And could we potentially see a temporary government shutdown over the weekend?
Well, I don't want to see any government shutdown. That's inexcusable. And that means we have to get our job done tomorrow. And I think we can start it. We'll start in the House of Representatives and then come over to the Senate. And we can do our work as quickly as the members will cooperate.
And just curious, why does this always seem to happen with Congress when it comes down to the last minute when you've known about these deadlines for months? For example, why was Tuesday, just a few days before the government funding runs out, the first time that the 4 leaders of Congress actually got together in the same room? And do you think that a President Biden will be able to change that dynamic?
So how many people wait till the last minute to file their income tax? How many people put off that annual trip to the dentist? It is human nature to wait until there's a deadline and you have to make a tough decision. I hope Joe Biden can do a better job of getting this done on a timely and orderly basis, but we're going to try to finish this year as best we can.
We heard President-elect Biden say just yesterday that any deal at this particular time is just a down payment and that he'll pursue more funding efforts once he's in office. But given how difficult these negotiations have been, do you think that it'll be even more difficult to get Republicans to sign on to additional spending beyond this? And how much could that hamper Biden's agenda, especially if you're not able to capture those 2 Senate seats in Georgia?
Well, I can tell you this, whoever wins in Georgia, there are some bottom line elements here, and one of them is we are in a pandemic and people are dying in record numbers. We shouldn't hesitate or get involved in any political fight over that. We've got to put every penny necessary for the logistics, for example, of moving vaccines across the country. We've got to do everything we can for testing and tracing to try to keep people safe as we fight this pandemic. So I hope no one wants to play politics with that. It is a matter of life and death.
And lastly, you called Russia's alleged hacking of multiple U.S. government agencies, quote, virtually a declaration of war. So beyond changing the relationship with Russia, what should the new Biden administration do at this point? For example, should the U.S. be conducting offensive cyber operations against Russia in response?
Listen, I don't want to see a war, but I want to tell you what is unfolding by the day is alarming. Things that we have invested billions of dollars in to protect America have been compromised by one of our major enemies, Russia. This president has been silent. I can't understand why he hasn't spoken out. He was silent as well when it came to bounties on the heads of American soldiers by Russians. I just don't understand it. Any president of either political party that I have known would have been screaming to the rooftops that anybody who does that to the United States has a heavy price to pay.
Senator Dick Durbin, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
Next to the massive nor'easter that's disrupted travel for millions, including COVID vaccine deliveries. In Binghamton, New York, 3 inches of snow fell each hour nonstop for 6 hours, more than 40 inches when all was said and done. And now dangerous ice, a plane sliding off the runway while landing at the airport in Baltimore. And now it's about to get really cold. Our Rob Marciano has more.
Tonight, icy roads making for another rough ride home after that deadly winter storm hammered the Northeast. Parts of upstate New York getting nearly 4 feet of snow. At Baltimore's airport this morning, this Spirit Air flight from Las Vegas skidding off an icy runway. No one was hurt. Around Boston, a treacherous morning commute. And huge waves crashing ashore in coastal towns. Hundreds of spinouts and crashes across the storm zone. A multi-car pileup with injuries on New York's west side. Nearly 50 people hurt in accidents across Connecticut. How long you been working today?
I've been working since 7 o'clock yesterday morning.
Holy smokes, over 24 hours.
Over 24 hours, yeah.
In central Pennsylvania, a fatal crash involving some 60 vehicles shutting down a stretch of Interstate 80. With vaccine rollout in full swing tonight, New Jersey's governor says the storm did indeed delay some vaccine deliveries.
It might just be a little bit later than otherwise expected.
Incredible numbers coming out of this storm, especially in upstate New York, where over 40 inches of snow fell in some spots. New York City seeing its heaviest snowfall in nearly 5 years. And here in Hartford, we saw a foot of snow. And I can tell you this, even driving around this city where the snow plows have worked these roads, they are still slick as these temperatures continue to drop. In the morning, we will see wind chills across the snow zone in the single digits and teens, and it's not really going to be warming up through the weekend. So what has fallen is going to stick around for quite some time, as now we are in the throes of winter. Lindsay?
Stay warm, Rob. Our thanks to you. When we come back, the officers barging into the wrong home, handcuffing and humiliating the naked woman who lives there. And tonight, the fallout in the city of Chicago. The American given jail time in the Cayman Islands, sentenced for breaking COVID quarantine rules. But up next, the dire warnings about a potential Russian hack into some of this nation's most vulnerable infrastructure and the concerns this could be far worse than we can even imagine.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know seems to change, well, like every day. So what is it that you really need to know, want to know, to help you not just get through your day, but make the most of it? Feel smarter, feel better, feel happier. Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon? GMA 3, what you need to know. It's all about you. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. This is going to be so good.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
I've heard some demented and perverted stories, but this one, true shock.
A kidnapping.
Suddenly, masked men are in this house.
An unthinkable act.
If we're not going to get our money, we're going to take something.
You're... I thought, am I hearing things?
And the one woman who risked her life to bring down her husband.
I mean, it's my worst nightmare.
Now, his stunning interview.
Were you part of mutilating him? Obviously not.
The 2020 event, Friday on ABC.
What you're seeing right now, this is part of the eye wall.
This procession of migrants goes back 2 miles.
There is going to be catastrophic damage.
This fire has made a run. You can see those flames shooting up into the sky.
We are on the jam-packed red carpet.
To the right, guys.
So this is the 4th weekend of protest.
Watch ABC News on location for Facebook Watch.
Your mom said, comb your hair. Your dad told you, smarten up. Your dog is judging you right now. And your best friend just called you crazy. We all need someone who'll pull no punches and give it to us straight. Now imagine getting your news like that. No bull, no spin, just give it to me straight. Straightforward news, straight to the heart of the story. ABC News, straightforward.
What's the most innovative daily news podcast out there to listen to every day? Well, the Edward R. Murrow Awards say it's Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. Even the New York Times calls us a top news podcast worth listening to. So if you like getting behind the biggest news stories of the day, inside all the details, the backstory, and what will happen next, then listen to Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. It's like no other news podcast out there. Even the critics agree. Listen free on Apple Podcasts.
Welcome back. We now turn to that massive cyber hacking impacting some of our nation's top departments. Sources tell ABC News it looks like the Russians could be behind it, and it could include our nuclear weapons. Pierre Thomas has more on the grave risk of this cyber attack.
Tonight, federal agencies scrambling, fearing enormous damage in what could be one of the largest cyber attacks in years. And today, this dire warning from Homeland Security's agency dealing with cyber threats. The hack, quote, poses a grave risk to federal and local governments, as well as critical infrastructure.
The adversaries were going after the U.S. government in very sensitive areas of the U.S. government. So the impact of this across the board could be very large.
Sources telling ABC News that the suspected Russian government hackers may have been looking at sensitive emails and communications of U.S. officials since the spring. And the list of federal agencies and departments potentially impacted growing. And word tonight that the Energy Department and its National Nuclear Security Administration, which oversees the nation's nuclear weapons stockpiles, had some of its networks breached.
So many networks appear to have potentially been infiltrated. Pierre Thomas joins us now. Pierre, any response from the Energy Department on the potential of the nuclear weapons system being accessed?
They did respond, Lindsay. They said that this affects non-classified situations, not the national security functions. But clearly, there's concern because the Russians allegedly were in deep, and they were in there a long time, Lindsay.
And it sounds like this is not just government agencies that were apparently targeted.
Not only government agencies, we're told that this company has software that is used by more than 400 of the nation's Fortune 500 companies, Lindsay.
Pierre Thomas, our thanks to you. Still ahead here on Prime, the community is divided by COVID and the border between the U.S. and Canada. Friends and family no longer able to see each other as easily, even neighbors. The multi-million-dollar suit against a teeth whitening company that has tangled up two famous sports superstars. The rich keep getting richer, except for one who decided to give away billions. We take a look at income inequality by the numbers. But first, our tweet of the day, 81-year-old actor Sir Ian McKellen, starring in so many famous franchises like Lord of the Rings and X-Men, euphoric after getting his COVID vaccine.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live, the 24/7 streaming news source, ABC News. Wow. Breaking news, live events as they happen, streaming live, non-stop, straight to you. Original, on the edge, breakthrough storytelling. From ABC News, National Geographic, ESPN, all designed differently for you to stream straight to any screen whenever you want, free. And imagine the most celebrated, epic live events and moments, all playing out right before your eyes.
See those flames behind me?
And go deeper inside the groundbreaking exclusives from the campaign trail only ABC News gets. Watch ABC News Live right now and anytime. Streaming on Roku, Hulu, Facebook, and abcnews.com.
ABC News Live.
Streaming everywhere, right to you.
ABC News Live.
The Americans here on the ground and the Iraqis. 18,000 tons. Patatas.
Ismail? David.
Over ground zero from Hurricane Michael.
You can see just home after home.
David, nice to meet you.
This was your view.
My favorite view.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, mornings may look different these days, but where you start your day,
where you spend your mornings, where you get connected to everything that's happening.
And face it, there's a whole lot happening in our world these days.
where you get all the breaking new information of the day to help you navigate through these times.
That's why we're here.
Good morning, sunshine.
And making sure you start your day off with a smile and some sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Oh, how I love saying that.
Wake me up.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
This is GMA3, what you need to know. GMA3.
A third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon.
It's all about you. Lunchtime on ABC.
Welcome back, everyone. And now to a tale of two pandemics. Millions of Americans are out of work and poverty is rising. But for some, 2020 has actually been an economic boon. We take a look at the growing inequality by the numbers. 885,000 Americans applied for unemployment benefits just last week, the highest weekly total since September. 20.6 million Americans are receiving some form of unemployment, and more than 9 million will lose benefits right after Christmas unless Congress extends their aid. 7.8 million Americans have fallen into poverty in the last 5 months, but at the same time, much of corporate America is thriving. 45 of America's 50 largest publicly traded companies have actually turned a profit since March. That's according to Washington Post analysis. Also, America's billionaires managed to increase their net worth by 36% from March to December, putting their collective riches above $4 trillion. But one billionaire, Mackenzie Scott, that's the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, she says she's recently given away $4 billion to food banks, emergency relief funds, and other charities. She acknowledged that the pandemic has been a, quote, wrecking ball for so many while increasing the wealth of the very rich. Still lots ahead here on Prime. The detective run over by a deputy and now filing a lawsuit of excessive force. Large swaths of the country buried in fresh snow, but climate change is altering winter, as Ginger Z tells us in this week's It's Not Too Late. And the punishment handed down to Russia, what that nation's athletes won't be able to do. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
Is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown Hate, The War Among Us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. The #1 news magazine on Friday nights. #1 in politics across this historic election versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show. And #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
This place is all about magic and wonder.
That's what it's all about.
Another Christmas in the trenches.
Prepare to have your little doggy mind blown.
You know, to me, the holidays mean faith, family, and friends.
Sharing smiles and sharing love with everyone around you.
And sharing cookies. Gotta have those cookies.
So forgive our manners. From our GMA family, and that includes you because you are part of our family.
Here is wishing you a wondrous and joyous,
very happy holiday season.
Happy holidays, America.
The best holiday!
Yeah! Happy holidays filled with love and, tell them, Michael.
Cookies!
Good cookies, too.
What's the most innovative daily news podcast out there to listen to every day? Well, the Edward R. Murrow Awards say it's Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. Even the New York Times calls us a top news podcast worth listening to. So if you like getting behind the biggest news stories of the day, inside all the details, the backstory, and what will happen next, then listen to Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. It's like no other news podcast out there. Even the critics agree. Listen free on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, mornings may look different these days, but where you start your day,
where you spend your mornings, where you get connected to everything that's happening.
And face it, there's a whole lot happening in our world these days.
Where you get all the breaking new information of the day to help you navigate through these times.
That's why we're here.
Good morning, sunshine.
And making sure you start your day off with a smile and some sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Oh, how I love saying that.
Wake me up.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
it looks like we have a favorable vote.
A second round of help could be on its way in just days. An FDA advisory committee officially voting yes for the Moderna vaccine after an entire day of deliberations and questions. Now the FDA commissioner will have to give the final green light before it's sent out. From there, 6 million doses will be distributed. Wednesday was the country's deadliest day since the pandemic began, with more than 3,600 people dying from the virus, according to Johns Hopkins University.
Well, several European leaders are self-isolating after France's president contracted coronavirus. A spokesperson says Emmanuel Macron tested positive after experiencing symptoms, but did not provide any information on the symptoms. He met with a number of European leaders this week, and the prime ministers of France, Spain, and Portugal are now in isolation.
It's nothing short of disturbing. A Kansas sheriff deputy mows down a man fleeing a traffic stop. The man crushed by that patrol car is actually a former police detective from Kansas City. 35-year-old Lionel Womack survived but sustained serious injuries. He's now suing from that August incident, claiming the officer intentionally drove over him. Womack says he did nothing wrong, but once additional patrol cars pulled up, he became scared and started to run.
He's not one that scares easily. So for him to express to me that he was in fear for his life, I think that he was definitely in fear for his life.
4 months later, he's in jail for fleeing, while the officer who ran over him remains on patrol.
This American teenager now in prison in the Cayman Islands after breaking that nation's strict COVID quarantine rules. According to officials, 18-year-old Skylar Mack traveled to Grand Cayman on November 27th and was required to quarantine for 14 days while wearing a wrist monitor given to all visitors to track their location. The next day, she reportedly called the public health department to have it loosened.
From then, she's able to take off the bracelet the following day and attend a jet ski event.
This is video of that event. Officials say the pre-med honors student from Georgia went there to watch her boyfriend, professional jet ski racer Vanjay Ramgeet, compete. Police were called and arrested Mack after they say she confessed to breaking the quarantine requirements. Ramgeet, a Cayman Islands native, was also arrested and charged with aiding and abetting. The two pleaded guilty and were initially ordered to pay a fine as well as perform community service. But prosecutors appealed, calling the ruling too lenient. A judge then upped the sentence, ordering them to spend 4 months in prison. Mack's family says she's tested negative for COVID-19 several times since arriving on Grand Cayman.
Why did she have to be the example?
Russia will not be able to use its name, flag, or anthem at the next 2 Olympics. The ban also goes for any world championships for the next 2 years. Now, this comes from a ruling by an independent institution called the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The ruling body cut in half the 4-year ban proposed last year by the World Anti-Doping Agency. The landmark case accused Russia of state-ordered tampering of drug testing lab in Moscow. Russian athletes and teams can, however, still compete at the Games.
It's quite the intimidating father-son duo, 11-year-old Charlie Woods and his father, Tiger, competing together with those identical swings. It's the pair's first PNC championship together in Orlando this weekend. The 36-hole event features 20 teams of top pro golfers and their family members. Charlie already making a name for himself as a junior golfer.
It's so fun, so much fun for me to see him just enjoying this and enjoying the game. You know, whatever Charlie decides to do, whether it's golf or not, as I said, as long as he just enjoys it, and he's doing that.
Welcome back. Joining us now for a deeper dive on the ramifications of the alleged Russian cyber attack is former Homeland Security Advisor and ABC News contributor Tom Bossert. Tom, you wrote an op-ed in the New York Times saying, quote, the magnitude of this national security breach is hard to understate. We've heard our nuclear weapons could have been impacted. What other kind of critical information has been tampered with potentially?
Yeah, good evening. I think the magnitude is the point here. We're seeing a potential of 18,000 networks, both government and commercial, that are held at risk. And so what's so scary about it is we could really wait to see any decision from the hackers, appear to be the Russians, on what they choose to do with those networks. While we're held at risk, they can manipulate the traffic, manipulate the data, even change and confuse the communications in and out and between these organizations. So people are worried about whether they can release nuclear codes or weapons and so forth. But what I'm really worried about is what they might do beyond spying to mess with our public and its trust of its institutions, and not so much right now to overreact to what operational impacts might be, kind of second and third stage efforts. Now, that doesn't mean it can't happen, but in the Treasury Department, you want to make sure that our Federal Reserve System works, that they're not creating new digital money where it doesn't belong. You want to make sure that our nuclear weaponry, of course, and its codes are all protected, but many of those things are on high-side classified networks, and so we really need to look for what they do next, and it could and most likely will be misinformation and manipulating our trust in data.
This hack wasn't detected for 6 months. How does a cybersecurity firm get hacked and then have it go unnoticed for so long?
So this is really the math here that's in favor of the bad guys on offense here. They were able to get into one company, a good company, that serviced a lot of customers. Once they got into one and all of that company's customers downloaded their software updates, think about all the times that you download an update on your phone. You don't think to not trust the update that comes from a trusted provider. They all downloaded it, and that one intrusion allowed the hackers to get into what looks like now almost 18,000 networks. From there, the question is what they've done inside. Imagine if you got home one night and your home was broken into and the front door was kicked in, and your neighbor said, well, ma'am, the door was broken down, the Russians were here, they've been in your house for 6 to 9 months, but don't worry, we're going to fix your front door, and we're going to make sure there's nobody in there before we go home and leave you in there for the night. You might be okay and feel a little bit comfortable, but pretty soon you'd realize that you'd be looking at every plant and unscrewing every light bulb and trying to find listening devices in your microwave and so forth. The question here is, by analogy, what did the hackers do inside these networks with administrative level controls to remain in control of those networks while we didn't know they were there? And we didn't know they were there for months.
That's a really great analogy. If, in fact, it was Russia that choreographed this, what kind of historical attack would you compare this to? And would you go as far as calling this a modern-day act of war in the digital world that we live in?
Well, they're certainly holding us at risk, and we can't tolerate operating in that environment. People are talking about counter-launching a cyber attack. We have to be careful about that if our pants are down, so to speak, and we're right now in our networks owned by them. And others are talking about launching missiles. Of course, all those things should be on the table to change and impose a cost on the Russians, but to change their behavior. I think we're going to have to do that directly, but also with partners' help. And I'm not necessarily suggesting we need to escalate to that. Let me give another analogy. Right now, the cyber planes are circling Pearl Harbor, but we don't know what they're going to do. But they control that airspace. If they take pictures and spy and go home, we might be able to de-escalate this. If they choose to drop weapons, that's a whole different matter. And the problem is we don't know how many networks they're circling and what they're capable of doing, and hunting for them on those networks is going to take years.
You, of course, worked under various administrations, including the Trump administration. You said that it's time for President Trump to get past his grievances. If he doesn't, who should step up and make the effort to create some sort of action plan between the current and incoming administration? Are you personally considering reaching out to the Biden administration yourself?
Well, I'm here to serve any president that ever asks me to help them. That's true of why I went to help President Trump, and it will be true for any future president. That's certainly my kind of view of public service. But there's no third option, really. So what I did was offer a recipe for how we could coordinate a number of very expensive, very complicated efforts. That coordination needs to begin now. There's geopolitical efforts that must be coordinated to bring our alliances together, to put pressure on the Russians. And there's also technical capabilities and technical steps that need to be taken to remediate all these networks. That all requires careful attention as well. Somebody's got to step up and do it, and somebody has to do it at some point. If President Trump and his team is doing it now, then great. If they're not, then bad. And if the Biden team enters on January 20th with a distrust of all their networks, they're going to have a heck of a steep learning curve to get up to speed, and they're going to have to figure out how to handle that crisis with a set of networks they can't fully trust.
Of course, it's your belief that this likely goes beyond spying purposes. What kind of worst-case scenarios should we be preparing for, and how could this impact individual citizens?
So it's all about the calculus of the people in control of those networks. I would, right now, and not lightly, assess that they're unlikely, if it's the Russians, to do something so profoundly disruptive, let's say costing hundreds of billions of dollars of damage, shutting down operations. I think they know that even a divided America would unite against them and consider that an act of war. I suspect they're going to make a constant set of readjusted decisions and calculus on whether they can do something and whether they can get away with it, and whether they can continue to sow distrust in our institutions. That can go on for a long time until we do something about it.
Tom Bossert, as always, we appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for ringing this bell for us. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Turning now to an incident that happened 2 years ago but is causing outrage tonight in Chicago. A woman inside her own home, minding her own business and naked when police barge in for a raid, but they entered the wrong home. Alex Perez has those details.
Tonight, an investigation underway after this disturbing police body cam video shows officers with guns drawn storming into this Chicago apartment. The social worker who lives there, Anjanette Young, was changing after coming home from work. Police handcuffing her as she stood there naked and humiliated.
To have to deal with police officers yelling at me, pointing guns at me. No one should have to experience that.
The incident happened in February of 2019, but the video just now made public. It turns out police did have the wrong apartment. The police superintendent and Chicago mayor promising change.
I have an obligation to make that wrong right.
The mayor clearly bothered by this. Alex Perez joins us now. And Alex, the mayor seems to be among the many wondering why it took so long for this video to surface. What are you hearing on that?
Well, Lindsay, as you know, with big cities, sometimes you run into big bureaucracy and things take a little longer, or in this case, much longer than one thinks that they should. And it seems to be that that was the case. I know for some time this video was part of the investigation, and that's one reason why it was not released. It took Young herself filing a Freedom of Information Act to get that video, and authorities at one point had actually tried to stop her from obtaining that video, but it was, of course, granted, and she was able to obtain that video. And the mayor today, Lindsay, saying they want to change the rules, change the law in that place, so that in that case, so that when people who are involved in certain cases will get the document and videos that are connected or related to their stories in a timely fashion. Lindsay.
And is the woman in the video, Miss Young, taking any legal action at all herself?
Yeah, Lindsay, you know, Young and her attorney tell us tonight that they plan to file a lawsuit against the city of Chicago. And we did some digging, Lindsay. In 2018, here in Chicago, more than $85 million of taxpayer money actually went to settle police misconduct cases. Lindsay. Alex
Perez in Chicago. Thanks so much, Alex. Sports superstars Rob Gronkowski and Floyd Mayweather have been sued and tangled up in a multi-million-dollar false advertising lawsuit against a popular tooth whitening product they've endorsed. Serene Shaw has the details.
What do celebrities, professional athletes, and thousands of people just like you have in common?
It's the popular LED teeth whitening kit popping up in your social media feed, endorsed by athletes like Rob Gronkowski and Floyd Mayweather.
The Snow Teeth Whitening system is super easy to use and will give you
Snow Teeth Whitening LLC facing a proposed class action lawsuit. New Yorker Burton Claus accusing the company, its founder Gronkowski and Mayweather, of fraudulent, false, and misleading advertising and marketing. Based on what the plaintiff calls false claims that the lights they sell to consumers will dramatically improve the whitening power and antiviral or antiseptic qualities. Legal experts stressing this type of lawsuit can be powerful if it is allowed to proceed as a class action.
A class action lawsuit is essentially a lawsuit where rather than having one plaintiff, one person bringing the lawsuit, there are hundreds, could be thousands of individuals, typically in a class action lawsuit such as this.
The at-home brightening kits retailing for about $200, and Snow touting they've sold nearly 1 million. But the lawsuit, which is seeking class action status, claiming the lights are ineffective for those purposes and are very cheap lights that are similar to models sold online for less than $5. Krause's attorney telling ABC News the defendants are taking advantage of consumers and that in March the defendants began their efforts to profit from the pandemic by falsely suggesting they had a virus-killing option. We are trying to stop them from ripping people off.
They believe what they say. They have credibility. They have trust built up in their name and in their brand. And because of that trust, people go out and spend money with the belief that what that celebrity or endorser said is true.
Our thanks to Zareen for that. We now travel north to the U.S.-Canadian border, where strict travel restrictions intended to curb the pandemic have turned life upside down. ABC's Inez de la Quetara takes us to Derby Line, Vermont, a town literally cut down the middle by an international boundary as they now navigate a new normal.
In the two adjoining towns of Derby Line, Vermont and Stansted, Quebec, the border between the U.S. and Canada snakes right through people's homes, cuts down the middle of a main road, and even divides the community library in half. But for 9 months now, this unique area's quiet life has changed dramatically after land borders were shut down to non-essential crossings.
You take for granted, there has been this open space all my life that was just a hi, how are you doing, Mrs. Bronson or Wendy or whatever at the border, both ways to there's a wall.
Wendy Bronson has lived along the line her whole life. She's used to crossing into Canada frequently, from dentist appointments to visiting her children and grandchildren.
My son is literally right over there. On the other side of the customs.
Bronson and her family are all dual citizens, so they're legally allowed to cross, but now must adhere to strictly enforced quarantine rules, which they can't afford. She's only seen her daughter and grandson once since March.
I miss them. And with the holidays coming, it's worse. I still feel it. I'm sorry. But I was shut off from my family. That was what made it real for me. And I can't get to my kids if they need me. They can't get to me if they need me.
Normally, you see, this road would be very busy because all the cars coming through.
Canadian Jane McIntyre owns Jane's Cafe on the U.S. side. She says her small business has taken a major hit since the border shut, mostly because she's lost cross-border travelers.
I think I could probably survive until next fall, September, October, and then I think I would have to give up if it doesn't change.
Have a good day, guys.
Eric Lavallee is the U.S. Border Patrol agent in charge of Newport Station in Vermont. He says he understands the community's frustration. He's worked this section of the border for more than 16 years.
A lot of commingling, a lot of comfort level, a lot of families that are on both sides of the border.
But with COVID-19 cases continuing to rise on both sides, he says his team has a duty to enforce the rules.
Unfortunately, the pandemic does not know borders. It does not keep itself to one community or another. With the borders closed, we're trying to minimize any of the impact to our local communities and healthcare resources.
There are others with strong U.S.-Canadian ties facing similar struggles, which prompted Devin Weber, an American living in Toronto with her Canadian husband, to start the organization Let Us Reunite on Facebook.
The Canadian government has twice passed family travel exemptions. In June of this year, they allowed immediate family to cross the border, and in October of this year, they created a second exemption for extended family. But there's a lot of reasons that people can't take advantage of those. We're asking for reciprocal family travel exemption so our Canadian family can travel to the United States.
She says many members of the group are from border communities, frustrated that the so-called airline loophole allows Canadians to fly to the U.S. for non-essential travel, but not drive across the border.
People that live 5 minutes apart now have to take 4 airplanes, spend $1,000 and take 10 hours to see their loved ones, and that just seems ridiculous.
Representative Brian Higgins of New York calls the policy a disconnect.
We should expect that the Department of Homeland Security in the United States and public health officials in Canada would work to create parity as to who can come and what mode of transportation they can use. That disparity is not helpful.
Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told CBC Radio that his country's border policy will remain the same for the foreseeable future.
Until the virus is significantly more under control everywhere around the world, we're not going to be releasing the restrictions at the border.
Jane McIntyre says she's trying to remain optimistic.
I think the best thing in my life that I can always do is you just keep putting one foot in front of the other and do what you need to that day to make yourself and everybody around you feel better if you can. And the rest will have to work itself out.
For ABC News Live, I'm Inez de la Cuetera in Washington.
Some good advice for all of us. Our thanks to Inez. And when we come back, despite the snow, is winter getting warmer?
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. The #1 news magazine on Friday nights. #1 in politics across this historic election versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show. And #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's most watched program across all of television.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
What you're seeing right now, this is part of the eye wall. This procession of migrants goes back 2 miles.
There is going to be catastrophic damage.
This fire has made a run. You can see those flames shooting up into the sky.
We are on the jam-packed red carpet.
To the right, guys.
So this is the 4th weekend of protest.
Watch ABC News on location for Facebook Watch.
Breaking news, context, analysis.
With today's extraordinary news cycle,
Now is the perfect time for ABC News Live.
A streaming news game changer. The time is now for ABC News Live. Get it, streaming everywhere.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
The East Coast getting its first major snow of the season is a reminder of the punch winter can pack. But in some places, it was the most snow in a single storm in years. And as Ginger Z explains, that's no accident. Climate change is altering winter as we know it.
Hi, I'm Ginger Z, and it's not too late. I'm out of the basement, and I'm in the snow because, I don't know if you heard, but we got a nor'easter. Eight to 10 inches in New York City, anywhere from 6 in Philadelphia to 44 inches in parts of New York and Pennsylvania. It's a big deal. Not just because, well, there's a life-saving vaccine that they're trying to ship and this impacted it, but also because we haven't seen this type of snow in years in some places. Last year alone, Boston was almost 30 inches below average. Philadelphia only had 0.3 of an inch of snow. New York City, not even 5 inches. So we're due for some snow, but also we're seeing the season shift, and that's where this story picks up. In the Northeast, there are nearly 50,000 people that depend on the snow and cold. Winter tourism employs a lot of people, and we've seen huge changes. This year alone, my son was turning 5, and he wanted nothing more than a December 19th birthday with skiing and snow tubing. And when I started calling around to New Jersey and New York ski resorts, they laughed at me. And they said, we have had such slow couple of years, and try after Christmas, try after the New Year. That's what they've been seeing the last decade or so. So we wondered, is this going to continue to be a problem and a pattern shift? And some studies really say yes. Here are the numbers. By 2040, this study says that all of the dots that you see highlighted there in the southern tier of the Northeast will not have economically stable winter tourism because of the shift in temperatures. If we continue on this rapid rise of carbon dioxide emissions, by the year 2080, you see those colors shifting? Well, in parts of Massachusetts or Connecticut, we could see the annual average snowfall cut in half. That's not something that people that work in these industries want. And of course, we want to cover more of this, and we will be in the coming weeks, because it's a big story, and there are a lot of parts to it. And hopefully, if we get to go sledding or snow tubing, I'll have some new video to share. I'm Ginger Z, and it's not too late.
Glad to get Ginger out of the basement there. Our thanks to Ginger. Before we go tonight, our image of the day. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. Well, this is the opposite of revenge, but the dishes are likely pretty cold. Cold food to support restaurants. This is what COVID has forced us to do. Eat out in the cold. Kudos to those who brave the elements to have a uniquely 2020 meal in short sleeves, no less, while supporting the restaurants that so desperately need it. That is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Have a great night.